1974, the Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Washington, D.C. Good evening, United America. Good evening, world. We are broadcasting live. This is DTC Defeating the Curse. We are a few days away from the NFL draft. We are a few days into the NBA playoffs. We are exactly one night into the Caps Stanley Cup playoff run. And it is, we're a couple days removed from Easter. And, FP, I saw a lot of you last week. It was a good week. Easter is I gotta be honest, Easter's kind of an underrated holiday. And it sounds crazy to say that. Maybe it's not like mainstream enough. I don't know how like Easter isn't considered a mainstream it's got a mascot and the bunny and all that stuff. But honestly, if you get good weather on Easter, I think you're hard pressed to find a better holiday. I'm a Thanksgiving guy. I really like Easter. Like it's just seasons and the weather and all that stuff. I don't know. Either of you guys, Andy's here tonight too. Welcome back, Andy. Anybody a big Easter guy? Am I the only one? Am I the only one?
You're very spiritual, Joe.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't like to put that in the out there, but like in general, I'm just saying I feel like it's an underrated holiday. Like there's a lot of build up.
It's a good holiday. It's a good holiday, especially for those with kids, because there's a lot of fun around Easter as well. The Easter egg hunts, all that good stuff.
It's a good treats. Food holiday, isn't it? I feel like it's almost like the unofficial start of warm
barbecue
weather,
season.
Barbecue season. Like, with Thanksgiving, you get the turkey, which, let's be honest, nobody actually likes turkey.
No, I love turkey. You're just not
nobody likes turkey. Please,
you're not making it right. You're not making it right. Get out of here.
We're gonna smoke it, or we're gonna do the brine. We're gonna make love to it. I know all the stuff. FP, I know. You're a big turkey guy.
Ain't nobody make a love to a turkey.
No, I mean, like ham. Ham stinks. Are you gonna defend ham too?
Get out of here, Joe.
Are you one of these? Are you one of these?
Do you like bacon?
Stand in line. Of course, I love bacon. But do you stand in line with all the normies to get your ham from what's the place that only is in business during Thanksgiving? Honey baked. You out there with the mouth breathers getting
but if somebody's bringing me an amazing smoked ham, I'm gonna have some and it's gonna be delightful. Why are we talking about Thanksgiving? Easter's great. I made kebabs. I made steaks. I made all of the great stuff. Perfect grilling season. I had the charcoal Weber growing at the same time as the propane Weber. It's a fantastic season.
Well, hold on. You're lying a little bit because you don't own
his parents' house.
Yeah, there we go. See,
I didn't say I had mine going.
You're literally the last person in America without a grill. You don't own a grill.
Listen, if you have seen the trash neighbors that I have next door to me, 24/7 cigarette smoke, and they have meth teeth. It ruins the entire neighborhood. I need to call somebody on them and get them evicted. I can't be out there. Okay. I can't be out there.
That's just.
I get it.
I mean, I understand it, but I don't accept it. I mean, you can't grill like on the other side of the deck. Maybe look at the other neighbors.
No, cigarette smoke travels from 5 feet to 5 feet.
Can you get you like maybe an outdoor fan?
No. Listen, I'm one of the few people in America that has a good relationship with his parents and his family. So if I want to grill and it's a nice day, I'll go over there. And why not grill for the family? It's fine.
Is there an official fare of Easter? I mean, chocolate is big up there, but like there's no Easter ham. There's no Easter brisket.
Lamb is actually pretty big in Easter.
I didn't have any lamb this year, but I could have some.
What did you have, Joe?
I had
explain
the
it
pot roast.
to white people.
That Egyptian pot roast. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it.
I'll get to the good stuff.
All the white people, and then my my Brolo came into town from Colorado. He brought A5 Wagyu, like a whole hunk of it. We sliced it into like about 1 inch pieces or 1 inch thickness cuts. I mean, I have never cooked a steak like that, or tasted a steak like that. That is wild, and I was blown away. That's a Costco thing. It's super expensive, but you order from Costco, you go pick it up a couple days later, and you do what you want with it. But it was delicious.
I didn't get to taste this meat.
I will back you up on that because I have never had it, and you were very gracious enough to bring some over to me.
Oh yeah, another story. On Easter Eve, I'm home on late on Saturday night, and I got everything's fired up, and kids are eating. I had one kid who basically hadn't had a hot dog for all of Lent, and that's all she wanted. One gave up cereal, the other one gave up chocolate. So like that was their meals of choice. And I called Andy. I was like, I know you got a kid and a newborn and a wife and responsibilities, and it's late and whatever. Get in your car and drive over here right now. And he's like, no, I can't. I was like,
how come I don't get this call?
Well, because you live in freaking.
You don't think I would break a couple speeding laws, moving violations to get down to your house as fast as I needed to?
This would have been worth it because it was.
Hey, the truck goes fast, baby. I'm down. They call me beef.
It was one of those things where I didn't actually want to finish the food that was in my mouth because it was that good.
That's when you got to work when you're doing leftover math. Like how can I keep this around a little bit longer?
I should choose slower to enjoy this longer.
Yeah. But honestly, as good as that was, I'm a huge fan of that Middle Eastern pot roast. I love that dish, and I've perfected it.
I need to taste it. I've never tasted it.
Never tasted it. Say it for what it is. It's called kebab hella.
Yeah,
I've never tasted it.
Kebab is beef, and hella is pot, so it's beef pot.
Beef pot. Kebab hella, Egyptian dish. Look it up.
Pot roast would be the correct
honestly
translation.
It's the easiest dish to make in the world, and I had my wife, my kids, my mother-in-law, my father, everybody was just watching me cook. And I told them, I was like, you're gonna be here for a long time because it's 1 hour of cooking per pound, and your boy made 8 pounds of it,
and yet your co-host got nothing.
I'm gonna need that recipe, Joe. It was
I got you, baby. I got you. But so it sounds like maybe you agree with me. Easter's kind of an underrated holiday.
No, for sure, it's a fantastic holiday.
But it's not an official holiday. Like you don't get the day off.
Hey,
right?
Be careful. It's a Sunday.
No, I mean it depends. I mean, you get what is it? Boxing Monday is what the overseas people call Monday after.
I mean, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. That's the 26th.
No, but there's also Boxing Monday, right? Or is it just a bank holiday? No. I don't understand holidays over there.
Observed by the federal government as a day off.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying, I feel like it's underrated. People are generally extremely happy. Like some people don't like Thanksgiving. I think they're crazy. Some people don't celebrate Christmas or don't like Christmas or whatever. But Easter generally, like because the weather is good too, I think people just in a better mood. It just
also it lines up with the other two religions out there. They like same time frame. All three religions have a pretty big celebration happening.
Yeah. There's no Thanksgiving cookies. We have Thanksgiving desserts, but Easter's got cookies, and I love cookies.
What's the official Easter cookie? I know what ours are.
Well, I mean, you have chocolate, for the
bunnies and the chocolate.
And then you got petite fours, which is the French pastry. You got madeleines.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of like sugar or butter cookie.
Yeah,
like a Mexican wedding cookie. I think is the equivalent to like a cack.
Yes,
a butter cookie or like a
butter
cookie
with butter inside and Turkish delight, and then covered in powdered sugar.
Small tangent: the Easter egg Reese's cups, best shape out there. Better than the Christmas tree. Better than the pumpkin.
Has one, and it's been staring me in the face for a couple days.
It's the best peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
Honestly, I might get into it.
It's the best peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
I feel like I need to stress
of all the shapes, of all the seasonal shapes.
Well, why stress eat?
I'm always stressed. It's tough time of year, man. It's go time right now. It's go time.
Now you get to go carnivore style.
Last week in particular with tax day, like I was ready to forget about like I want to shoot myself into the sun. Like, it's over. It's over. Like, tax day is. Oh, anyway, I don't want to talk about that. You guys want to start with NBA or you want to start with locally here? We talk about.
You gotta go Caps, baby. We gotta go Caps.
Okay, let's go Caps. Caps go into overtime in game 1 and pull it out. We were to some extent chatting back and forth. FP, I think you watched it with LP. I don't exactly know because I called him about something else. He's like, "Don't say anything."
Yeah,
whatever.
He hosted the game 1. I was watching the first 2 periods on like a 40-inch TV in the middle of a playpen with kids, but I digress. Yeah.
Okay, it's not appropriate given the magnitude of the situation, but okay. Andy, you seem to be a little bit more bullish, saying they fared okay. I felt like it was a poor showing. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but you're the number 1 seed. It's well documented on this show and elsewhere. You stumbled towards the end of the season there, losing some games that you wanted to use as tune-ups. You got a 2-goal lead that you squander, and your hero pulls it out for you in the overtime. How confident are you going into game 2? Because I'm not very.
I thought overall they played well. They dominated for 2 periods. You can say that one of the goals, the second goal, might have been a high stick and may or may not have counted or should have counted, but they played well. They kept moving the puck. The puck didn't stay on one man's stick for too long. Like, they played well as a team. They were hitting those young Canadian players, their star Canadian players, hard. They were like, "Hey, welcome to the playoffs." And they were teaching them a lesson for 2 straight periods. And then they went into the mode that I despise. And the Capitals are known for doing this. And it always costs them. The prevent defense, the park the bus defense, if you will, in soccer, right? Where they just defense. It turned literally into a shooting range for the Canadians against Thompson. It's going to go in. Pucks are going to go in. They're going to get bounces. They're going to get lucky bounces. You let that many
everything about playoff hockey is puck luck.
Yeah. You let that many consecutive shots happen, it's going to go in. And the best defense is offense. Like, don't take your foot off the gas.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I'm in complete agreement with Dalla on this one. Complete agreement. We played a phenomenal game first 2 periods. You came out, you looked like the 1 seed, you looked fresh, you had the right line set up, the right matchups. Everything was working perfectly for you. And then it was just that prevent defense. But I will say it changes a little bit. Like, I'm not too worried about it. There's the superstition side of it, right? This is the opposite outcome of game 1 in 2010 when we faced the Canadians last time. We were the 1 seed, right? They won in overtime, and then we went to go win, and then we lose the series. So this is, the superstition part of it, that's reversed. But also just LT coming back, he had a great game. Those goals getting in on him, that was going to happen, but he looks like he didn't miss a beat. So he's still phenomenal between the pipes. And then really when you get Protas back, which Carbs is saying might happen tomorrow.
Sure, yeah.
Definitely, probably for sure game 3. Him coming back completely changes the lineup, right? And your defense gets that much stronger when he gets in. And I'm not too worried about seeing that prevent defense in game 1. It's more.
It felt unnecessary. FP.
It did feel unnecessary, but I mean,
they could have turned that 2-goal lead into a 3. I think
easily. And but the thing is with Carbs, he has proven it, and we've said it on the show before. He has proven that he's not a coach set in his own ways. So he is somebody that's going to see that prevent defense was not the right call in game 1, right? Not the right. I mean, basically, he outcoached himself.
What level nervous are you going into game 2? I'll be honest. I'm nervous. Like, I think there's a blueprint there. I think. Listen, if you want to beat, forget about game 2. If I asked you to come up with a game script to defeat the Capitals, what would you say it is?
Speeds and shots on net. That's it.
Okay.
Shot on goal. Just pound us.
Their opponent on Monday night didn't have that for 2/3 of the game. And then But
the thing is, that's not sustainable. The only way they could score on us was us being in prevent and for them to have a flurry of shots within 8 minutes. But you shouldn't be nervous because that's not sustainable for an entire game, right? So if you build up, the trick is always go up early, right? Against this team specifically, get your goals in early, right? And stretch out the game. If you can stretch out the game where you can allow yourself to go prevent, you shouldn't, but if you can allow yourself to go prevent, sure, they'll get their shots off and they might get some puck luck. But if you control that game early and you make it violent early and you hit them hard early, you're going to be fine. I'm not too worried about this. And when you see your stars come alive, and Ovi said it last week, he's like, once playoffs start, he's like, everyone's going to be up for playing. And that's what we were discussing last show is that they're kind of stumbling into the playoffs. They had a rough end of the season. They like, if you watch those first two periods,
they did.
Well, yeah, but if you watch those first two periods, it was a flip of the switch, right? Like they came in and they looked like the 1 seed through and through for the start of that game, and everybody was like, "This is the Caps that we remember." And that's still without Protas, who's one of your better players this season.
I mean, they need him back in the lineup.
100%, they do. But when you see Ovi with 2 goals, 3 assists, 7 hits, just an amazing stat line for him. Like it when you see him, and then Wilson was made his presence known, especially with some of those hits. There's not too much reason to panic. Now, if you slip that game, yeah, you could panic a little bit, but your stars did what your stars need to do, and you got the W. It's playoff hockey. It's not going to be easy, right? Like the Canadians.
So what do you expect in game 2? What do you expect? I know both of you are going to say the Caps win, but
I expect similar to game 1. I think Carbs adjusts, and you're not going to necessarily go full prevent, and you're probably going to push the gas down a little bit more going into that third period.
Look, this is not an even matchup. Like, this is domination. The Capitals, I fully expect a chokehold type series. Like, as long as the Capitals play the game, they dominate the Canadians. Like the first 2 periods, right, Joe? Like they smothered them. And even when they scored the tying goal, the Canadians, when they scored that second goal to tie it with 3 minutes to go or something like that, a little part of you kind of saw live in game, the Capitals like, fine, all right, we'll start playing again, right? Like you saw them control the puck. You saw them start taking more shots. Like it's literally a mindset, and they literally should stranglehold and chokehold the Canadians. I think it's probably going to be a sweep, if I'm being honest. They might take 1 game, but this should be a complete domination of the series.
I think I'm in agreement with that.
I mean, it should be, but do you think it will be? Because I think if they were to fall behind early, they would have to keep that, kind of that max pressure on. That may change things. That may open them up to give up multiple goals.
But we've seen the Caps all season long be able to rise to whatever occasion the game dictates, right? If they score early, they know how to hold on to it. They know how to get that game tying goal, that go ahead goal. They know how to do that, right? If they get the doors knocked off the bus early, or whatever the statement is I'm looking for, and they have to play comeback hockey, they know how to do that. They know how to crank up the heat a little bit and start attacking. The thing is, you have from last preseason or from last postseason to going all the way back to the 2018 team, the players on the ice right now, you have a defense that is able to get involved in the offense, which you didn't necessarily have the last few seasons after the Stanley Cup. And you also have an offense that actually has speed and a lot of young legs, right? And this is something that we haven't had in a lot of postseasons. So however the game plays out, we are equipped to handle that, and we have shown all season that we can get that win no matter how it's played out. So I'm agreeing with Andrew. Like, this should be a complete domination, and I think it was just a little bit of seeing what the Canadians have, right? Like it's the best of 7. Yeah, like you're gonna be surprised a little bit. You're not gonna know everything that happens, and you have a recipe now. Prevent's not gonna work, and if you go into prevent, they've probably identified where their weaknesses were and how to better prepare themselves to clear that zone quicker. Maybe they just need to hit some seam passes better or hit the boards even harder or whatever.
And that's fair. And that's fair. I just think you given how the regular season ended, the game, the way it started was ideal. 2 goals, and I mean, they look to be in complete control. I think if you're inside that locker room, you didn't like that it went to overtime. You certainly didn't like that the way it ended. I hear you, boys. Like, yes, they are the better team and they should win the series. I don't know. A sweep is aggressive. I think in any professional sport, if you're playing the same team, whatever, 3 or 4 times back to back to back to back, that makes it tougher. Like it's a very localized knowledge. Like it's tough. That's what makes the playoffs on all the sports great. They should win, and I expect them to win game 2 as well. I'm just saying, it's just it's not the way you would want that game to end, right? Like, but if in overtime, there's a big eye roll for me, being like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're like, all right, typical DC nonsense, right? But if you're looking at the playoffs as a whole, if you're looking at the playoffs as a whole in the NHL, like there's been a lot of, I'm not going to call them upsets because a lot of these teams are fairly evenly matched, but like even looking at like the Minnesota Wild, right? Like they came out and they all of a sudden completely shifted and they got a win. And there's a lot of these games where, at least in game 1, playoff hockey is it's so fun because it's always 100% aggressive and the entire game, right?
And historically, you see more early round upsets in hockey than in any other sport, right? Like the delta. I don't know if this is accurate or the best way to say it, but the delta between your 8 seed and your 1 seed tends to be much closer in hockey than it does certainly in the NBA. I mean, the 8s just never have a shot. I mean, that is a super, super rare thing. And you see it in you see it in baseball. Actually,
don't tell that to the Warriors, though.
I mean, you see it in baseball with some regularity, but in football, we've talked about this for years on end. Like the hottest team going into the playoffs typically is the one that you're most scared of in the NFL. But in hockey in particular, like the odds, the bet makers, everybody looks at it and says like the delta is just not huge. Through 2 periods yesterday, the delta looked huge, and in that third period, it was just a bad show. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Also, did you feel like the crowd was a little flat on Monday night for the Caps?
No. They were late. They got flat in the third period.
Yeah,
but they were rocking the first 2 periods.
I don't know. Maybe I was a little distracted watching last night, but it just seemed like something was a little off. But I expect them to come out. I expect them to win game 2.
Well, it depends. Were you watching ESPN broadcast or Monumental?
I was watching the ESPN broadcast.
No, the ESPN kind of
for dampering
they messed with the crowd noise. If you watch Monumental, way louder. Also, you should always watch Joe B if he's calling the Caps game.
It was because I was doing the quad box because I was watching
I
was watching other stuff at the same time. Like there was some good playoff basketball last night as well. So I mean, I do want to talk a little bit about the NBA. I mean, it is a light sports week overall. I mean, I'm not the baseball guy. I don't think any of us are. I mean, we could talk about the Nets and what they're doing, but I said this 2 weeks ago, and I think I repeated it last week. Like the NBA playoffs are different, and the basketball that is played in the NBA playoffs is different. There's been some really, really good matchups
because they're introducing defense again.
They have to play defense. I don't know how much. Like the game that stands out right now is last night's Nuggets Clips game. Like the Clippers were literally in super cruise mode the entire season, mostly without Kawhi. He's back for like 5 minutes, and suddenly they look like a contender. The playing games were all good. Like there's some good basketball being played. Like you're not seeing the 140 to 150 final scores. I'm not going to say
most games. Yeah, most games were pretty big blowouts.
Okay, the ones that haven't been blowouts to me, Andy, have been pretty good.
I mean, you gotta love seeing Minnesota take it to the Lakers. You gotta love seeing the Warriors come up and play suffocating defense. I mean,
the Warriors didn't just beat the Rockets. I mean, that game.
Yeah,
I know it was 10 points in the end, but
they had that. Curry was just playoff. Curry is insane. There's no other way to say.
Yeah, but hold on. But Detroit went into New York, and that was a really fun matchup. I know our boy Tony also. Congrats to Tony for publishing his book. I'll put a link or something on the show if you want to pick it up. Good for him.
That game was a blowout. 90% of the time.
The 194?
The Pistons Knicks game. It was a blowout most of the game.
Well, I don't know. I watched like the last 4 or 5 minutes of that one. I was flipping around.
Yeah, I mean that's when they brought it. I think they
went
went on like a 20.
Because Joe's boy can go left apparently.
They went like on a 21-0 run.
It's so painful. The Clippers and Nuggets game though, Andy, like the biggest lead, I think the largest Nuggets lead was 6 and the largest Clippers lead was like 7 or 8. That game was tight the whole way down the stretch.
That was a good game.
And honestly, it's one of the few times I've seen Joker not play not be the best player on the court. Aaron Gordon is a phenomenal basketball player. Like I know he bounced around between Golden State and Orlando or whatever, and then he ultimately lands on the Nuggets and he gets his big contract and they win the championship, yada yada yada. But he's a really talented basketball player. Like he's overshadowed by his contemporaries, but my point was Joker did not play like the MVP. That was I mean, I know he got a triple-double, but he looked terrible down the stretch from the last shot that was
the game got sloppy towards the end.
It did. And if the Nuggets, with 2 or 3 minutes left in that game in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets basically turned into the Westbrook show. I was like, what is this? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is.
But they also don't have to worry about it because it's rare that you're going to see Kawhi healthy in the postseason and actually get real minutes. It's not going to last the whole season or the whole series. I mean, Kawhi is not going to last the whole series.
But when he's out there, he's impossible.
When he's out there, he's insane.
He's a matchup nightmare for everybody to try to guard him, right? And him playing with Harden, like that combination is a tough outside combo to, especially if Harden decides to play just any tiny modicum of defense out of him. And
Memphis is keeping up with OKC right now. Pacers are actually up on the Bucks right now. It's
the Eastern Conference a little bit different, but like I'm looking forward to Timberwolves Lakers tonight. Like I intend to watch 2 quarters of that and fall asleep probably by halftime when Shaq and Chuck get into it or whatever. But
I can't wait for LeBron to lose.
Well, I don't see how they win.
I would love for LeBron to get swept.
I would love it.
I don't know if I want to see Luka get swept. I think it's bad for his brand. It's bad, but you're right. Like Ant-Man looked great. I mean.
Rose to the occasion, right? Playoffs started, different Ant-Man.
He did. It literally flipped the switch and turned it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the Cavaliers. I don't know how much of that game you watched too. That one wasn't super competitive. I mean, I think they put up the highest point total so far in the playoffs, 121. Donovan Mitchell is, if he
very
is
underrated.
If he is in any other city on any other team, he's the number 1 selling jersey. He's the face of. I mean, he could be the face of the league. He could be the face of the league, actually, even with Luka.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, exactly. Nobody knows.
No, I just didn't hear you.
He is a talented, complete basketball player, and he's fun to watch. And he's not a jerk, which makes him somewhat marketable too.
Reinvented his career almost.
Well, yeah. I mean, how did Utah let him walk? Like, why would you just let a talent like that out the building? I'm not sure, but the Thunder Grizzlies, that series should be good as well. I mean, that resumes on Thursday night. A long layoff for them between games. I'm not really sure why it's so long, but
I mean, they're going right now. It's not terrible.
Yeah, 79-90. I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm desperate for John Morant not to be stupid, but I think that ship has sailed.
It's almost his brand now.
Yeah. I see with the Fortnite skin and pick your celebration and whatever. Yeah, I know. Are you watching, more generally speaking, more NHL or more NBA playoffs?
I'm NHL Prime commercial switch to NBA, and then typically in NBA games the West Coast games are gonna take you a little further than hockey.
Yeah,
I'm more NBA games besides the Capitals. I'll watch some of the East Coast, the Eastern Conference NHL hockey because I don't care at all about the West right now.
You're scouting, okay?
There's some good games happening though, man.
I mean, the West is stacked. In hockey, but yeah, I'm watching more NBA games. I'm watching more NBA right now.
I got one more sports topic. Like I said, it's a light week, but we're a couple days out here from Green Bay hosting the NFL draft. did you consider traveling for like? Does any part of you want to attend the draft in person? It's become a spectacle and a 3-day event and all this stuff.
I don't get why people go to the draft. Like, unless it's a free ticket or like a company sponsored event where it's like a big group going.
Yeah.
Our family, sure. Yeah. But like,
Because
as
it's
a
not
fan,
like you can go get autographs.
Yeah, as a fan, I don't understand why I would go and just scream "Rah," and just boo the commissioner. Like, I don't. That's whatever.
I mean, it's a good point. I don't know what the draw is there either. I guess being in Green Bay, if you've never been to the stadium, like that could be interesting if you know, but you're not necessarily watching. I don't know. That's a good point.
How much does it cost anyway? Like, what is it cost? What?
I think it's
what's
free.
The cost here?
I think it's free. But to your point, you just stand. You're just standing outside, and then every 8 hours somebody says your team's name, and you get on camera to cheer
and scream.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's been quiet. I mean, it doesn't look like Rodgers is signing anywhere. I think, we say it every week, but I think he's done. Is next week maybe the first week we don't mention him?
Probably. I mean, this draft, if you want to get into the draft without deep diving into players, that's kind of more of an LP nerd fest.
Yeah,
deep dive into the
mistake
picks.
of asking him that question offline, and it was as if he was presenting or defending his thesis.
Yeah, it's
just on and on. I was like, nobody cares this.
But the headlines of it is this is a draft where Tennessee probably goes Cam Ward, but then Cleveland and New York, nobody knows what's going to happen in 2 to 3 all the way down. Like nobody knows anything. You have a lot of rumors going where you have the lower teams calling Cleveland and New York for the second or third pick, and they're listening to offers. And you might see blockbuster trades. You might see crazy trade backs. You might see a team you didn't expect to rise up to 2 to take somebody that you weren't expecting to see go that early. This is going to be a draft. Like if there's ever been a draft in the last 5 or 6 years where you want to tune in to round 1, this week's draft is going to be it, because it's going to be equivalent to the stupid draft day movie on Netflix with Kevin Costner, where the picks and the trades that are going to happen just don't happen in real life. It doesn't happen regularly. That's what everybody's expecting this year with this year's draft.
I think it's because it's a weak draft class, right?
Because
like,
nobody wants to take Shedeur Sanders early. Nobody wants to take Travis Hunter may fall. Hopefully,
where should those guys be drafted? To me, they're maybe mid first round guys.
High 20s.
Yeah, but I mean, Travis Hunter is going to go top 5.
He could.
Cam Ward's going to go number 1.
But should he be there? That's my question. Should he be there?
With the cast, with the pool of players in the draft this year, probably nobody's gonna.
But they're saying he also might drop, because what are you going to do with a dual position offense defense threat? Like a lot of teams may not waste a pick on him because they're like, well, we don't know how exactly we want to use him, right? So that could cause them to drop, and that's what can give you New York accepting a call to trade the 3rd overall or whatever, and then they could still get Travis Hunter if they go down to like 17 or something. Like
what's going to be interesting? What's going to be interesting is I think there's a lot of solid defensive ends and offensive tackles, but nobody really takes those kinds of players in the top 5 unless they're like.
You want the flash, but there isn't really any flash this draft.
So I think the majority, like the strength of this year's draft and the teams that are actually going to come out on top are probably going to be in the mid to late first round, like picks 15 to like 25. That's where I think coming out of this draft, 5 years, 2, 3, 4 years from now, we're going to be like
stable.
These players are staple players that make
Pro Bowlers. Yeah,
more
traditional path where you're
good year for the Redskins to have a low draft pick.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they may. Somebody said it. I don't remember who, but I think falling back makes more sense. Like at this point, right? Like if you can get one extra pick somewhere in the second, you can do it, because there's no one like. I mean, unless something crazy happens, but if either of the 2 top guys fall, and we've seen this before, if they fall, do you make the call? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. They don't need him. The rumor I saw, or what I saw, I think it was on Thursday last week, FP, is they had a private workout for the running back from Virginia Tech. I'm blanking on his name. I'll look it up here in a second. But like they appear to be looking at running back.
The Redskins?
Yeah.
Virginia Tech running back.
Yeah, let me look it up. Let me look it up while we're talking.
The hope is that Ashton Jeanty falls. Jeanty falls.
Jaunty or whatever.
Yeah. The Boise State running back.
Bashal Tutton. Virginia Tech guy.
What is his ranking in the running back rankings in
all right, hang
this
on.
draft class?
Typically don't like to do this, but let me see.
There's like the Ohio State guy, Henderson, Jaunty that FP just mentioned, Scatbo and Etienne from Florida. Like those are names that are coming to my head, but never heard of Tatooine or whatever.
Bashal. I mean, I really should have looked it up. Production score of 72. He's in the low 40s. Is his expected draft position?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm maybe in the minority. I don't really get that excited for the NFL draft. Obviously, last year was a big deal because we were.
You're saying Tutton is the 9th best running back available in the draft.
That's the number.
Yeah.
9th best.
So
Okay.
the last year it was also because last year we knew within like the draft would start and 30 minutes later I could resume my evening. I really don't think I'm gonna be hanging around watching much of this at all. This is a situation where you go.
No, this is a Twitter. Yeah, this is a Twitterverse.
Twitter, just give me the list and show me what's happening where. And that's it. Yeah. So we'll see. A couple days away from that. It's I don't know, man. Like this is I know Matt the Met and Stevie are all excited about what's going on, but like I'm actually enjoying. Like this is it's an enjoyable, 2-3 weeks here.
And that's went on a little win streak, right?
They did,
Yeah.
and they've got players that make you want to watch. And Monumental actually with that TV deal or the
Monumental Plus or whatever.
Monumental Plus allows you now to stream all of the local games. It's something that the Wizards piloted during their season, but they're the Wizards and far less. I think the Wizards are less popular than the Nets. Is that a fair statement?
100% fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I got into it with a coworker over that. They said, no, basketball will always no.
The thing is, like this Wizards team, if they do what we've been saying the last 4 or 5 episodes, and they're building properly, they get the guy, they get the coach, and they turn into like the next OKC, like we've been saying.
I think they got the guy. Except
you need one more guy.
Yeah.
But to your argument, if the Wizards do your prediction and suddenly become a 30-win team, basketball will outdo baseball instantly.
I feel like DC can be and was at one point a very strong
Chocolate City, baby.
Yeah, like they were very responsive to yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Cooper
declared for the draft.
Yeah.
Because the 2016, 2017 John Wall years, nobody was.
What year was Paul Pierce on the team? Whatever that year was, that was the year. That was that was the tough ticket to get. You always wanted to be in the building. I don't remember what it was, but I think that was 16.
I think it was 16.
Yeah,
16,
then he went to the
16
Clippers
season, 17 playoffs. Yeah.
Because then he went to the Clips and then he retired. Yeah, that was it.
But I mean, if you look back at that, like you had prime Caps, prime Wizards, the Nationals. I mean, at that point, the Redskins were complete trash, and the Nationals, they were good, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So they weren't must.
All right, Joe. What's the starting 5 for the Wizards hypothetically if they take Flag?
Koulibaly, Cooper, Sarr, Bub, and Keyshawn.
Jordan Poole not in there.
I mean,
no, probably not.
No,
I like it.
I mean, you could, right? You could.
That's a young group, right?
Yeah, but let them all learn together. That's what they did this year too. I mean, you can put Poole in there. Marcus Smart probably is a spot starter. He's going to be a deep bench guy at this point anyway in his career. Maybe a second stringer. I mean, you could do Middleton. You could do Middleton and Poole. I mean, they give you some stability on.
No chance those guys play.
It doesn't make sense, right? Like all of the run. You run them all back, all of them.
The Wiz talking heads, the rest of the media, they were actually all echoing your your love for Bub, and they were talking about
bro.
how great it turned out that we got Bub basically for Denny, right? Like you trade away Denny,
Yeah.
you get Bub with that pick.
And we were heartbroken over Denny.
Yeah, we were heartbroken. Exactly. And
Bub,
but like it couldn't have worked out any better for this
he
team.
played all 82. He improved throughout the entirety of the season. Like he's a local kid. Like he has the potential to be to the team. Maybe Kevin Durant's a stretch, but like he's a local guy. Like
yes,
he is beloved here.
That star in him is starting to shine. Yeah,
Keyshawn George and AJ too. Like they've got. I'm telling you, I know. Every week somebody messaged me or there's a mutual friend of ours that listens to the show regularly. He's like, you got to stop talking about the Wizards like they won 50 games because they won 16. I'm like, I understand, but there's something here, man. There's something.
There is
here.
absolutely.
There's something here. I'm so listen. Full disclosure. Typically, the shows that we've been doing recently with the three of us, and even when Matt was here, they've been super fatties. I told you boys coming in here, I had like 3 or 4 topics, and that was it. And then I wanted to get to OMC. It was my pick. Do you have any other sports topics? If not, I'm going to hit the sounder and we'll pivot right into AM.
Hit the sounder. I have so much to say about OMC right now.
Oh my god, this is going to go poorly. I can tell. Andy, any other sports topics, or can I hit the sounder?
No, let's go for it.
All right, here it comes.
This is the Off-Season Movie Club. Get your popcorn and enjoy.
Okay. All right. OMC. It was my pick. It was my pick, and my pick alone. Movie is 2010 Sinners and Saints. Okay. 6.1 from the critics out of 10, a 49% on the Rotten Tomato meter. Movie follows Detective Sean Riley, played by the lead Johnny Strong, who uncovers a shocking military conspiracy as he investigates grisly, torturous murders. The case triggers a war between international mercenaries and local gangs in New Orleans, leaving him caught in the middle. 2010. Okay, cast includes Johnny Strong. We talked about Johnny Strong a little bit last week, FP. He is the sole surviving cast member of the Fast and Furious original movie, circa 2001, who was never killed off, that has never reappeared in the series. There are some people that have died twice, like Letty, and have come back in the series. Johnny Strong has never reappeared in the series. Sean Patrick Flannery plays a character named Colin. I got thoughts on him in this one. We've got Costas Madalore, who plays Raymond Crowe, the primary protagonist and bad guy. You've got Kevin Phillips, who plays Detective Will Gaines, who just appears randomly halfway through the movie. Tom Berenger is Captain Trahan. And then Kim Coates, who I really was excited that Kim Coates was in this. And FP, I told you, I love Kim Coates from like he was great in Entourage, where he had a 4 or 5 episode arc. He was awesome in Sons of Anarchy. Every time he's on screen, like you get something out of him. He was alive and dead and unalived in 6 minutes in this movie. He's very
the dumbest opening monologue I've ever heard in any movie.
Yes. And then finally, maybe the best overall performance for Method Man. Like I didn't see that one coming, to be very honest. It's like, what's happening in the world of 2010. Like you got a lot of crossover stars, and it's like, well, we can't get 50 Cent. Can we get Method Man? And he ends up in the movie. But I'm not going to go first because it was my pick. FP, you go first. What did you think of Sinners and Saints?
I mean, I recall texting you and Andy angry at what you were making me watch. Like the brain power it took out of me to get through that movie. Like I would have rather been in 11th grade studying for the SATs. Like it was just so bad.
It's a little dramatic.
The amount of effort. First of all, whatever plot you read, that wasn't the movie we watched. I don't know what the disconnect was and what they were trying to show on screen, but that was not the plot. I'm happy that you mentioned Entourage because it felt, watching Johnny Strong be the lead in a movie, I felt like I was watching part of an episode of Entourage where Johnny Bravo has a movie and he's in there trying so hard to be an action star. And I could just hear like Turtle and everybody just knocking him for how bad of a movie this was. That's exactly what I saw. And then you had like some weird pre-John Wick Baba Yaga mentions, and they're like 2010, right? So it was like 4 years before the first John Wick. Like they were like on the cusp of having that same Russian boogeyman shows up and kills everything storyline. Nothing in this movie was properly executed. The graphics were terrible. The acting was awful. The lines were predictive. Like it was so bad. It was just like it shouldn't have even been a direct to DVD movie. Like it was like this is so
it's
like
got a theoretical release. No,
there's no way.
I'll look it up.
There's no way. They make $5. Like this is like direct to University Mall $2 movie theater. Like
you're being generous. You're being generous.
It was
all right. All right.
I apologize to Andy for any bad rating I've given him on any movie that he's ever picked.
I mean, this one is probably trending towards the bottom of the stack here. But Andy, what did you make of this one?
It was a struggle. Yeah.
Was there a risk of DNF on this one? Did not finish. Was there a risk?
100% there was a risk of DNF 5 minutes into it.
5 minutes?
I mean,
I didn't even finish the Kim Coates monologue.
That was enough. That monologue was so bad it's enough to turn the movie off.
Yeah, we might have to put in a rule that if it's so bad in the first 5 minutes that we're just allowed to punt. Like we just don't continue.
It was so corny. Like, I don't know how else to put it. The movie was extremely corny. The lines, the acting, the washing machine with the gas line, and then he just like cut to the lighter, like, and then all of a sudden it blows it. Like, it is so corny.
The terrible graphics of when they're setting people on fire.
Yeah, and then he mentioned Cindy died.
There's a little redeeming quality in the torture component of how they were killing people. Like, it's poorly executed, but it is kind of gruesome and dark and like
it was interesting how they would light them on fire, and then extinguish them and then light them on fire again. That was interesting. I'd never seen that before. I don't understand the reference to Baba Yaga or the Russian kind of fairy tale when he's not even Russian. And the military aspect of it, I don't think they were Russian. They were speaking perfect English in the, they were secret Aussies. Video, whatever. I think Paul hit it. Everything that I think of this movie, Paul vocalized it. There was no good parts to it.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, it's not a good film. Johnny Strong is interesting. Like multiple times, because you know how like Amazon, I watch on Amazon. I'm assuming you guys watch it on Prime, so you can do like the insights and the X-ray. I gotta be honest. I kept hoping that I would touch the screen of my iPad and that magically that Netflix like speed this thing up would appear. Just please, like if there was ever a movie I wanted to watch at 2x speed, this was the movie to watch. And it didn't happen. But Johnny Strong, like I went down the rabbit hole. Dude is like a martial arts champion. He is the lead singer of 2 separate heavy metal bands
who did the music for this movie.
And the soundtrack actually may be the best part of the movie.
I noticed that in the opening credits.
He's literally like a part-time actor because he's got all this other stuff happening. There are how do I say this? There are glimpses of a real movie in this. But there are like just acres and acres and acres of bad everything. Lighting, cinematography, action sequences. I mean, there's I don't even know where to start, to be very honest. Like there's the opening scene where Kim Coates just dies, and our main character has no time off. There's no like grieving. Like at least you usually get like the depressing music, and he's driving by himself and he's trying to find him. So there's none of that. There's none of this. There's the Colin. So I had such high hopes for Kimco, who obviously died very early, and then in the film, and then Sean Patrick Flannery, like this guy carried Boondock Saints, cult classic Boondock Saints. He's terrible in this film. He is so bad, and every time I don't understand. I still don't understand what the relationship was. And every time, you know, Johnny Strong's character is on the screen with him or talking to him, hey, call. Colin does not have a shortened, abbreviated. Colin is Colin. Okay, you can never call somebody whose name is Colin. Call. In my mind, all I could hear was Paul Walker looking at Tyrese in Fast and Furious 2 saying "cuh." You can't pronounce cousin or cuz. You have to call.
The transitions for this movie were terrible. There was no transitions. The one that keeps coming to mind is when he helped his partner. I don't know
his new partner who just showed up out of nowhere.
Randomly goes to his house for dinner. By the way, you're staying for dinner.
And then, oh, by the way, here's my entire backstory. Halfway through the movie. Halfway through the movie, you're gonna explain all this. It's so bad. Even at the end, if you make it to the end, you have to suspend all elements of reality and everything you've ever known about physics to allow your brain to comprehend that the detective is chasing a vehicle at 40 miles an hour, zigzagging the streets of New Orleans. His partner, who watches him run away, magically catches up with him about halfway through this terrible sequence. And then I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, like the car's driving towards them. They're gonna take the guy out, and like you could do something with this. Like you can pepper him with bullets or whatever. They blow out the windshield. They blow out the car. They blow out the tires. Not a scratch on him. Then he turns the wheel ever so slightly to the right, and the thing flips over and goes crazy. I'm like, what is this? What am I watching here? And it's
the low budget of the movie kept shouting at me, and in the dumbest ways. First of all, the hero car is a 1977 El Camino.
I'm not mad at it.
I love the El Camino, but
also Caprice Classic in there, the bubble Caprice.
Yeah, well, the bubble Caprice. But then, like every single shooting scene, I'm not going to tell you to revisit the movie. You just have to take my words for it.
Never.
The very first shooting scene. The second shooting scene by Colin's house or whatever, and the third shooting scene, the same exact 98 Ford Taurus,
yeah, the green
1992 one. Mercury Topaz, like the same exact cars are getting shot up every single time.
The same houses. At one point, Andy mentioned it when he kicks the call kicks the stupid stove to get the gas line or whatever. First of all, I understand
the gas come out.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, but like you'd never see the gas come out. But also, as somebody who's got a little bit of experience with the city of New Orleans, the first thing that was turned off in the 9th Ward was all utilities. Okay, so like I don't know how that's even possible, but okay, we'll suspend that too. There is a scene where he tells them to jump out the back window, right? And when he's doing and kind of preparing everything, they are legitimately running away from the house. The literal next scene, they are running back in front of the house somehow now magically, shooting the gun, shooting sideways, like a block away at the. It's like what? Like what are they being paid by blanks fired? Like what is this?
Let me rate this movie. Let me rate this movie. I'm so excited to rate this movie.
All right, I'm ready. This is my
0. It's a 0. It is a 0. It is a 0. It is. I know our scale was 1 to 5. This has blown through the basement and set up camp at 0. This is a 0.
Wow.
Since I finished the movie, I can't give it a DNF, but I'm going to give it just the lowest possible score. It is a 0.5. I will never watch this movie again. I will never recommend this movie. I did not enjoy watching this movie.
I'm still mad at you for making us watch this movie. The anger I feel, about you making me watch this movie is the most emotion I've had.
It was not a good movie. I mean, you got that's pretty tough. A 0 and a half.
What is the goodness of this movie? It's just that it was action packed, guns everywhere, shooting everywhere. That's it.
I think okay. So my rating is a 1. Right? Like if I hate somebody, I will tell them this is the best movie and you should go home and watch it. And that's how I get over on somebody.
Whoever told you to watch this movie, Joe, I would rethink the relationship.
That's why I'm so upset because
the formula was everything Joe wanted.
The trailer, yeah. Look, okay, I think it's deserving of a 1. For two or three specific things. If you eliminate the terrible acting, the cinematography, and the horribly sequenced action stuff, which is basically the whole movie,
you can't do that. That's not how critics work. You can't eliminate.
The plot isn't terrible. Okay, like there's some elements there that can work.
So if you had proper budgeting, directing, producing, acting, screenplay,
it's like a really, 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 really bad. It's like it's like community theater, Lethal Weapon. That's basically what this is, right? It's a rogue guy with nothing to lose, and then there's a black detective with everything to lose.
That's what I'm saying. It felt like a Johnny Drama Entourage cut. Like it felt like they produced a bad movie so they could use scenes of it in a good TV show.
This could win a bad movie contest. Like easily. That's how terrible this is. Easily. Johnny Strong. Maybe that's why they didn't bring him back in any of the Fast and Furious. They got to look at this thing and they were like, "This is a steaming pile of shit. We can't bring him to do anything in Fast and Furious."
I'd rather watch Michael Scott's Midnight, whatever
Threat Level Midnight.
Threat Level Midnight. It was the same production quality.
This is
Let me remind you guys, because I'm going to do it every time. You gave Usual Suspects a 2. Let me remind you guys.
I think it was a 2.5. Whatever. It was a 2.5.
Was it a 2? I felt like I was higher than a 2.
Did you watch Colombiana? Because you didn't make it last week. Did you watch Colombiana or did you skip it?
I didn't make it. No.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Listen, can I revisit my Usual Suspects rating? I'll bump Usual Suspects up to a 3.5.
This is allowed. That's a respectable score.
I will bump after seeing what I just saw, and after me preaching the entire scale of all movies that we need to fit into this ranking. I think part of me forgot just how bad movies can be.
Bad movies can be really bad.
Yeah. So I apologize to Usual Suspects. I will bump it up to a 3.5.
All right, pause off the naughty list. Joe?
Okay. No, I'm gonna stick at a 2.
Then these references in OMC will continue.
I could watch Usual Suspects again.
Look, if you give me these 2 movies and say if you don't watch this without blinking, you're gonna die, I would pick you.
The fact that you were able to finish Sinners and Saints and not finish Usual Suspects.
No, I finished. I finished it.
I didn't say you fell asleep or something,
but I finished. It took me a couple of. It was watched in.
It could be the best movie of all time. Joe's gonna fall asleep and watch it in segments. That's just Joe.
I watch. I watch most. I consume most media in chapters or segments. It's just or acts, right? Like there's. I try to figure out, and this is a terrible thing to do, but I try in my mind to figure out, like if I was watching this on TV, where would the commercial break be, and wherever it is, pause, and then I do something else, and then I usually come back. I can't just sit still for 2 hours. But yeah, this is a terrible movie. I'm sorry I suggested it. If you watched it with us on the OMC. Thank you for hanging out and participating in OMC.
Apologies.
I honestly I saw Thomas and he's got we have a mutual friend named Thomas, and like Andy was like grilling him. He's like, "What do you think about this movie and this all the stuff that we've seen, FP?" And he was like, "Well, what movie is up for this week?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Sinners and Saints. You should watch it and come on the show." I feel like I'm going to call him now and just apologize that if he started it, like this is
if he had an ounce of desire to come on this show and discuss movies, and that was the first taste of what he told him to watch,
he wouldn't come back.
This was a bad one, but okay, it's over now. My turn has passed. Who is up next? I think it's FP then Andy, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think Colombiana we filed under me.
It's over to you, Andy.
I'm not prepared.
We need to discuss the rebranding of OMC. We were floating around the idea of like themed months,
comedy month. I think we need a comedy month.
I think May should be a comedy month.
We have one more in
April.
Do we have one more in April?
We need to do something good. I could do Jim Carrey week. I could do Tom Cruise week.
Actually,
open.
Can I steal Andy's pick and recommend
I'm not
one?
prepared. Yeah, do it. I'm not prepared.
Can we just revisit The Accountant, because I want to watch The Accountant too?
I've never seen The First Accountant.
Oh, okay. Let's do the. Have you seen The Accountant, Andy?
Is this Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck and John Bernthal.
Is that the one with the nuns who come out of a van shooting at the place?
No.
That's The Town or something like that.
That's The Town. This is The Accountant.
This is available on.
I really hope you can stream it now.
I think it's on Prime. I think they pushed it actually to all the platforms so that you can.
It's on Prime, yeah, and Hulu.
Okay, Hulu has.
All right. If you haven't seen The Accountant, neither of you have seen it.
I've not seen it. No.
Okay, I haven't watched it in a very long time, but I remember loving it, and I wanted to see it.
I'm not a big Affleck guy though.
Before Accountant 2. No, I remember really liking his acting in this movie.
Okay. I mean, on a scale of this piece of crap that we just watched to Argo, like where's The Accountant going to fall?
I mean, closer to Argo.
Okay, all right. Let's
The Accountant was a really good movie.
Okay, all right. I mean,
and it kind of if we call April shooter movies, as the theme, it falls in line.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of a themed month. I don't think anyone like.
All right, so Andy, get ready for the 1st of May. Pick a good comedy.
Need a good comedy. Something we haven't seen for OMC.
I'll try.
Okay. Sinners and Saints, big fat dud. That is our worst rated film so far on OMC. I mean that was a bad one. Bad one. You trying to make the camera focus on the Capitals? Yes. There it is. That's a nice sweater.
It's a great jersey. I love that jersey.
Yeah, this is nice.
Oven chicken, baby. Let's go.
This is very nice. Very nice. Any final thoughts, boys? We'll put a bow on this one. FP?
Ovi with his first playoff overtime goal for a man that has broken every record and is in every record stat.
Wow.
First ever playoff overtime goal.
That's wild to me.
I know, it's crazy. He also has more playoff goals himself than the entire Canadiens roster has together.
Well, that's not a slap in the face, is it? Okay. Andy, what you got? Final thoughts.
Timberwolves going to the championship this year. Dark horse.
Wow. Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, I guess. Andy's got. You must have a futures bet in or something. You must have something in.
I stopped gambling.
Did you delete it off your phone, or do you just stop funding it?
Delete it. Done. Out.
It's on my phone with a zero balance, and LP consistently tempting me.
What happened? Why is everybody out? I'm curious now.
I'm more of a. I mean, I should have. I predicted the correct score for the Minnesota Wild game 4-2 or whatever. Should have done it. I gave it to LP. He made like $100 off me.
I feel like everybody all of a sudden was just like collectively out on gambling. Or maybe
I stopped gambling maybe like a year ago. It's because I was waking up at 3 a.m. betting on the Shanghai Sharks.
Andy went too deep into the.
I was betting on like Chinese basketball, and I was just
the German pretzel cutting.
If that was on FanDuel, 1,000%, I'm going to bet on that.
I was like,
that's fascinating to me.
That's great.
I knew I had a problem, so I had to cut.
Thank you for making time. This is it was fun to get back in here, fire up the mics, and talk some sports and talk movies. Appreciate it. Accountant is the movie for next week's OMC. Next week when we convene, we'll have some new commanders to talk about. We'll have at least a handful of teams eliminated from both the NBA and NHL playoffs. And I'm going to see if I can get Stevie and Matt the Met in here too to do a little baseball for us too. So thank you for hanging out with us. The show is DTC Defeating the Curse, available wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on every social media platform. Feel free to email the show, defeatingthecurse@gmail.com as well. Until next week, good night from the three of us. We will see you next week.